Hey guys, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today I am going to be talking about flute lessons and flute lessons over the summer. So I know a lot of us are coming up on summer break. I am, by the time you're watching this, I will be done with my spring semester of 2020. And so it's kind of a time for us to think about what to do this summer. Now, of course, if you're watching this right after it comes out, it's not going to be like summers in prior years just because of how everything is going with the current pandemic. But it is still summer and we want to have a little bit of fun, right? So I thought I would talk about if you should take flute lessons in the summer. Now, I think it's a good option for a lot of people. There are multiple reasons to do it. One, you have something fun to do. So, again, we're finishing the school year right about now, and you may not have much to do. You may not have a summer job lined up, unfortunately, just because of the current economy. Or even if you do, it's nice to have something to do outside of work. It helps you keep up with your playing. So come fall, when you have to audition for ensembles or just do whatever, get back into your community group, you won't feel like you're so out of touch with your playing. And then again, you can prepare for any ensemble auditions, competitions that you have this fall. And you can learn special skills. So perhaps maybe during the year you don't have time to learn things like flutter tonguing, where you either roll your R's or make a growl sound with your throat. That's how I do it, and it creates a really cool effect. And then there's things like circular breathing, where you're able to play really long phrases without having to take a breath because you simultaneously breathe in while breathing out. So that's the circle in circular breathing. So just any sort of special skill. Maybe you're a flute player and you've been wanting to learn piccolo for a while, but you just don't have the time. You could do that. You could learn, of course, like other instruments, or just new techniques or whatever. So who should take flute lessons in the summer? Again, I think they're a great option, but maybe they're not the best option for you. So music majors for sure. If you're currently in school, I think it's a great way to stay on top of your playing, prepare for the next academic year, and that way you're not falling behind with any of your studies. Competitive flute players, so maybe you're out of school but you like to do some competitions. You definitely want to keep up with your playing. You don't want to let your flute sit for weeks or months and then have to go back to it and record an entry for a competition and have it not be your best. And then anyone who wants to, even if you're an amateur flute player, even if you're a beginner, you have no plans on majoring in music, no plans on doing competitions or whatever. If you want to, then you should. And if you want to study with me, you can apply at the link in my description. I will link to my lesson studio page where you can learn more and apply to take online lessons with me. All right, so if you're still deciding on whether you should or not, if you're you maybe don't know if you can afford it or if you'll have time, because sometimes summer can be busy. Pros and cons. Let's go over those. So the pros would be the continuous learning, taking a break from the flute for 3 months. If you stop now and don't start till August, that's a long time. That's a quarter of a year. And you can make a lot of growth in that time if you continue with it. If you take a break, you could lose a lot of your ability and it will take just as much time to get back into it. And that can be tough as new seasons of orchestras and bands and community groups start back up. So again, you don't have to worry about regressing with your playing. You can keep progressing and moving forward. And then you can learn more music. So again, going back to the learning new skills, maybe there's a piece you really want to learn that you just don't have time to learn during the year, you can focus on that in the summer. All right, so cons of summer flute lessons is it can affect your summer schedule, especially if you do have a summer job lined up or if you plan on taking summer classes. Depending on how you schedule lessons, it may interfere with those things, and depending on the job that you work at. A lot of lessons typically take place in like the late afternoon, early evening, and on weekends. And if you work in food service or something like that, those are your typical work hours for the most part. Of course, summer does allow for the opportunity of having lessons earlier in the day on weekdays, but it is still something to think about. Then, of course, there's the added expense of more lessons. So if you have a lesson every week, again, that will add up. In a lot of cases, it is a good investment, especially if you're majoring in music or preparing for a competition. But there are alternatives. You could do lessons every other week. You could do shorter lessons. I also offer performance checks, which are one-off recording reviews where you send me a recording, I will listen to it, and I will respond with feedback. So you could do that either one-off, you could do it monthly, or like every other week, and that would be a more economical option. Again, all that information will be linked below on my lesson studio page. So there's a lot of benefits to taking summer flute lessons, especially since we don't have as much access to traditional flute or music camps. I think this summer is a great time to take lessons. You can take lessons with anyone in the world, whether it's me or someone else. You don't have to stick with your typical teacher. You can, of course, and that's great too. So it's not for everyone, especially if you are struggling financially. Don't feel like you have to spend the money on lessons. Again, that's why I like offering performance checks. They start at $20. And right now, since the current pandemic is in such a crazy state, I am offering 50% discount codes with the code NOVELHBF. So I will have that in the description. So if you apply and include that code in your application, I will give you a discount on your first performance check. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any comments or questions, and put those in the comments down below. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see on this topic or other flute or music related topics, and I would love to make those. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.